But Air Marshal Kapoor, let me begin by asking you, on day one, was the Indian Air Force defeated and grounded?
Absolutely not. The warfare is not, spoken in studios, and it is not discussed. The people with armchairs sitting on chairs, the way we are discussing warfare. In any conflict, we took the preemptive, and thereafter it is, something called as denying the retaliation was the process which is followed everywhere. So when you begin a conflict, thereafter you have to fall back, assess. And that is what the Indian Air Force did on the first day. We took out the 9 targets, the aim being to convey that we have just hit the terrorist targets which perpetrated the Pahalgam incident. So had the enemy decided, they would have left the conflict there only. But knowing them, knowing the tactics, we were expecting a retaliation. And in that, all our assets, immediately after the first strike, were put on high alert, be it our fighters, be it our surface-to-air missiles, be it our radars, be it our electronic warfare equipment. And these were put immediately because we were expecting a backlash. And as a part of tactics, all the assets... Say again?
Fair enough. I want to bring in Sanjay Jha for a quick response. Sanjay Jha, what would you make of Prithviraj Chavan's statement? He's former Chief Minister of Maharashtra. He's served in the Prime Minister's office. Why would he say something like this?
Good evening, Gaurav, to you and to my fellow panelists on the program. This is a very serious subject because a lot of people have made allegations starting with the BJP. And since I believe the BJP is a very farcical political party, I need to kind of address this head on. This is, to start with, this is a political party that still has to apologize to the people of India for Pulwama and Pahalgam. That has not yet even happened as we talk. But let's address what Mr. Chavan has mentioned. Let me make a disclaimer, Gaurav, right at the very beginning, in all honesty. Not only has he been a senior colleague of mine in the Congress, he's a very dear friend of mine. Now, let me just make the point, and I will come to critical points of what he said. Go back to what General V.P. Malik, Chief of Army Staff during the Kargil War, the tweet that he made when the ceasefire was announced. What did he say? He said categorically in his tweet, what did we achieve by this abrupt ceasefire? We launched the attack. And the question that both an eminent General V.P. Malik, I don't think anybody is like him on the panel, with due respects, if he says that what did we achieve, the question that we need to introspect on, since we launched the attack on Pakistan, justified, what did we really suddenly bring the ceasefire for? Number 2, you have the CDS.
Sir, my question to you is very specific. He says on day one, we were defeated. On day one, we were defeated. Was Indian Air Force defeated on day one? He's a dear friend of yours. He's a senior Congress leader. His statements are now going viral in Pakistan that Indian Air Force was defeated. Pakistan says this. Why would a senior Congress leader say this? Why do you think he was defeated? India was defeated on day one?
Gaurav, since you're in your panel of 4, and if I include you, 5 people, I'm the only one who has got to explain the rationale behind Mr. Chavan's statement. It will only be pertinent and fair if you do not interrupt me till I put my point of view on the table, and I'm not going to take too long. I'm not going to indulge in verbal diarrhea like the Indian Prime Minister. So let me come to the point immediately. General Anil Chauhan, our CDS, was on record in Singapore to say, and I think one should applaud him for his candidness, because this government is not transparent, saying that, yes, we did suffer reverses in terms of jet losses. He didn't specify any number, and that led to a recalibration of the strategy. You even had Captain Shiv Kumar, by the way. I'm quoting people from the Indian Defense Forces. Captain Shiv Kumar, part of the Indonesian, I think, defense attaché, where he went on record to say there was a political influence which inhibited the Indian defense or the Indian Army or the Indian Air Force from taking the battle to Pakistan to its logical conclusion. My last point, which is the most disappointing, Gaurav, and since you follow national security very closely, and I have admired you and followed you very closely, when the US government, this is a US congressional report, by the way, okay, this is not Prithviraj Chavan talking through his ad. When the this is the US government's view, and I quote from that report. The US government report says on the Operation Sindoor and the Pakistan-India skirmish, or the conflict as we decide to call it, this is their quote, Pakistan's military success over India showcased Chinese weaponry. Did we really contradict that? Was there any propaganda blitzkrieg by us to tackle that head on? No. We have allowed the narrative of this war to be won by Pakistan because of our own incompetence, ham-handedness, and ineptness. That is the bottom line. Prithviraj Chavan
respond to him, Sinha. Respond to him, Sinha. Prithviraj Chauhan, according to Sanjay Jha and the Congress, is raising some very pertinent points.
Yes, good evening, Gaurav. Good evening, everybody. And please give me some time because, Sanjay's had a long run over here. Now, Prithviraj Chauhan's statements are problematic at two levels. One, there is zero understanding of modern warfare when he asks why do we need 12 lakh, army men. For somebody who has witnessed the humiliation.
I'll come to the army in just a moment. I want to stay on the aspect of Air Force. And my questions are very direct. Yes. I don't know why my questions are not being answered directly either by Sanjay Jha or by you. My question is direct. Did the Air Force lose the battle on day one according to... So let's come to that part.
Not at all. Not at all. Does 100 terrorists being neutralized, is that a sign of defeat? Obviously, we were not for us, it was retribution. It was not an expansionist war. We recalibrated our strategy when Pakistan retaliated. And on the third day, we kind of decimated 12 PAF air bases. 12 PAF air bases being destroyed, 100 plus terrorists for terror crimes dating back to 1999 being neutralized. Is that a defeat for the Congress party? Where does this Congress party get this mindset from? It gets it from Rahul Gandhi. It gets it from Rahul Gandhi, who barely 10 days after Operation Sindoor was halted, tried to convert a victory into surrender. And subsequently, all of the political leaders, whether it is Kharge who called it a chutput war, whether it is Revant Reddy who, again said Pakistan, we could not defeat Pakistan, all of their leaders are deliberately towing a pro-Pakistan line. I think Congress needs to answer that. Why do they not trust our DGMOs? Why do they not trust our DGMOs when they give a particular list of 12 PAF air bases? We may have suffered minimal damage, but that is inconsequential, as Rajnath ji has explained in Parliament. You don't count the amount of ink. You don't count the amount of ink which you spend in standing first in an exam. This is something which the Congress party is not able to understand today.
Okay, because this is what the Pakistanis have been claiming all along, Sanjay Jha, that Indian Air Force was grounded, that Indian Air Force was defeated. The Air Force has countered it, including Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh. But I want to bring in Sushant Sareen because few people watch Pakistan as closely as Sushant Sareen. And Sushant Sareen on day one, and I will take this day by day, need be hour by hour. Sushant Sareen, was India defeated or was Pakistan soundly defeated with Muridke and Bahawalpur hit for the first time ever? Something that I don't know why India seems to want to, or some Indians want to downplay hitting terror at its headquarters, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed at their headquarters in Pakistan's Punjab province. You're on mute, Sushant.
Sorry. The some Indians that you're talking about, they are Indians who revel in the prospect and the possibility of India being defeated, humiliated, because that is what they believe will shine their politics. So they will do everything to undermine India, and they follow the Jinnah dictum that you have to destroy India. You will either destroy India or you will rule it. And there is no other way. So they are hell-bent on doing what they are doing. Hopefully, they will not get the chance. But people like Prithviraj Chavan, who I at least at one point of time believed was one of the most enlightened leaders of the Congress party, I suppose the rest of the Congress seems to have rubbed off on him as well. So he's made a ridiculous statement. Now, let's look at the factual part of it. What was the objective of Operation Sindoor? That either we will do what the Congress party was doing all along, that a terrorist would come, attack, kill 160 people in cold blood, and you would have no response, or you would seek permission from Pakistan to attack Pakistan. Either you would do that, okay, or you would say that no, we are going to hit back and we'll hit back hard. We don't want a wider war, we want a limited operation, but we will strike back. So you struck back, you hit 9 terrorist bases, and then there was a political decision which was taken that you don't want a wider war, you want a punitive operation. So you went and did it. The Pakistanis retaliated, as the Air Marshal has very correctly said. The Pakistanis retaliate. You are prepared for it. I don't know whether we took any hits. Maybe we did. Maybe we didn't. Maybe there was some damage. We don't know. But whenever something like this comes from the adversary, you recalibrate and you hit back. So right from day 2 onwards, you will see the drone attacks and the attacks on air defense systems in Pakistan, in Lahore, in Islamabad, in other places. Now, all of this is on television. Now, people like Sanjay Jha can keep repeating that old stuff which they keep repeating all the time. They keep regurgitating their own lies, thinking that it will become the truth. But the fact of the matter remains, right from the second day and the third day, when unfortunately you guys unnecessarily exaggerated Indian successes when we were hitting Karachi, not the port, we were hitting the Karachi air defense systems in the Malir Cant. Malir Cant is Karachi, heart of Karachi, right? People who probably have seen Dhurandhar, there were some people who are allergic to movies like Dhurandhar would not have seen it, but maybe they can see a map of Karachi to understand where Malir Cantonment is. And they'll get to know hitting Malir Cantonment, what an achievement that is. But forget Malir Cantonment, a whole range of other air defense systems were taken out on day 2 and day 3. And on day 4, that particular night, the 10th, early morning, when the Pakistanis were wanting to announce their Banyan Chaddi operation, what happened? All their big air bases were taken out, their command and control systems were taken out. What else do you think prompted
So
them
I'll come to day 2, 3 and 4 in
If
just
this
a
is-
moment. Sir,
this
I
is-
completely
one
agree
second,
with
Gaurav.
you.
If this
Because
is the
I have followed this.
If this is the definition of defeat
Go
for
on,
the
sir.
Congress party, then what does one say about a party like this? I'm glad that they are in opposition and I hope they will never come to power. That's all I can say.
Okay,
It's
so
quite
that's for the electorate to decide, Sushant Sareen, but I